Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
With that, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives sent the message: this was no ordinary send-off. This was no ordinary congressman. Elijah Cummings, the longtime Democratic leader, he was known as the party's moral voice. Two former presidents celebrated what they called his very American story.
His parents were sharecroppers from the South. They picked tobacco and strawberries, and then sought something better in this city, South Baltimore.
He's not even a teenager when he hauls down to the swimming pool and joins a group to integrate it, and for his trouble gets banged on the head with a glass bottle, leaving him a lifetime scar, which he wore with honor.
He was a civil rights activist that often promoted his hometown, Baltimore, a majority black city. In 2017, as riots consumed those streets with protests against police brutality, Cummings took to the streets with a megaphone to send a message of calm.
First of all, I want you to know I just came back from Washington because I wanted to be with you.
But his final months would find him in the center of a presidential storm. Cummings led the committee investigating President Donald Trump's conduct, and Trump lashed out, as he often does, on Twitter, the president calling Baltimore disgusting, rodent, and rat-infested. Cummings' widow responded.
What Congressman Chairman Cummings did was not easy, and it got infinitely more difficult in the last months of his life, when he sustained personal attacks and attacks on his beloved city. And while he carried himself with grace and dignity in all public forums, it hurt him.
The underlying message of the entire hours-long service: Cummings spent his life trying to perfect the promise of this democracy, which he saw in his final years as being under threat.
When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact? Did we stand on the sidelines and say nothing?
Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.